Hello, my name is Daniel Dargis. I am engineer in Quebec, Canada, general contractor and impartial consultant for any entrepreneur or business person who wishes to come to Canada to do business, invest, or study, more specifically in the construction industry. So today's video is especially aiming at construction workers. It is not for professionals, but specifically for construction workers who want to come to Quebec, Canada to find a job or to start a business as a consultant expert in the field of construction. So the first thing to do is to consult an immigration officer to see how you can come to Quebec, Canada. You should also expect that it is possible that you may have to come here a few times to make yourself known and gradually create contacts in order to obtain a job offer or to offer your services. So the first thing to do is to contact an immigration officer. I am not an immigration officer myself. I am an engineer and a general contractor. So I am not qualified to properly give you information about the immigration process. To do that, I will refer you to people who are here in Quebec, Canada, people who are confident, who are immigration officers, and who will be able to guide you properly. So that's the first thing to do. The second thing is to contact if you are a construction worker, a mason, bricklayer, carpenter, electrician, plumber, or whatever your specialty is in the construction industry, whether you come from, whichever country you come from, in Africa, Asia, Latin America, or elsewhere, it is important to contact the following organization here in Quebec called the CCQ. So what is the CCQ exactly? It's the Quebec Construction Commission. It governs all laws and regulations related to the right to work as a construction worker here in Quebec. So it is not for the technician, it is not for the engineer, it is not for the companies, it is specifically for the labor laws for the workers in the field of construction. I will not go into the details of all the laws and regulations and everything that must be done, but it is very important in parallel that you contact the CCQ, that you contact an official immigration agent who is authorized to give you answers to your question on how to come, what kind of visas you need, what are your documents, how to fill them out, how to submit them to the embassy or consulate of your country. It is the immigration officer who does that with you. But once you get here in Quebec, do not expect to find a job immediately, because there are also other laws here in Quebec that immigration counselors often do not know about. So specifically for Quebec, and much more in relation to the field of construction. In Quebec, we have an organization which is called the CCQ. So it is very important that at the same time as you contact the immigration officer, that you also contact immediately the organization called the CCQ. You will see there on the screen, on the internet, the CCQ in Quebec. You will see their coordinates. Call them to find out what are the documents that you need to submit to demonstrate that you have the skills to work here in Quebec. You do not have the right, in principle, to just land here by plane to get a job, even if you have a lot of experience as a mason, bricklayer, carpenter, electrician, and plumber in your country. It is forbidden to work in the field of construction without being a member of the CCQ or without having what are called the skills cards. These cards of competence, there are some of different levels. So I repeat that this is for the skilled worker, construction workers, not for the technician, not for the engineer, and not for the companies either. So if you are in this category of construction workers who want to come to Quebec, then I encourage you to find a way to come, because today, these days, in the 21st century, there is a great shortage of construction workers in the province of Quebec. So if you can find a way to come, you will definitely find a job very quickly. But it is necessary to respect the immigration laws and also to respect the laws and the regulation of the CCQ. So contact the CCQ because in order to obtain the right to work here, you need to have what is called the skills card. There are skills cards of different levels. There is the apprentice level first year. You need to do 2,000 hours of work. So 2,000 hours of work in 1 year is more or less a full year of work. So there is the apprentice qualification first year, apprentice second year, apprentice third year. So 3 years of experience, each year 2,000 hours. However, it happens in Quebec because of the climate that people only work a few months a year. So it takes longer to get the first 2,000 hours. So there are things to consider. Therefore, it is important to demonstrate by proof of salary, of tax contribution, or other evidence of working hours that you have worked in this sector as you claim. Whether you are a mason, a bricklayer, a carpenter, plumber, electrician, or plasterer, it must be demonstrated that you have performed several hours officially. So contact the CCQ to demonstrate this proof of your work experience.
Démontrer que vous avez plusieurs heures d'une façon officielle. Donc, contactez la CCQ afin de faire cette démonstration.
Following this, the CCQ will probably ask you either to take some advanced courses or to pass an exam, or it will give you immediately a card of competence for the years of qualification you have given them evidence of. But that remains to be discussed with them. I'm only here to tell you to contact the CCQ and to give you the guidelines to achieve what you are aiming for. So, once you'll have contacted the CCQ, you will have a good idea of what you have to do in order to have the right, once you arrive in Quebec, to work or to apply for a job in your specialty, be as a carpenter, a mason, bricklayer, electrician, plumber, or plasterer, or whatever skill you may have. So I repeat, an immigration lawyer, an immigration officer, it can be a lawyer or an immigration officer, the CCQ, and finally, I offer my services. I had several people here in my company since I have a construction company, myself, Daniel Dargis, engineer and general contractor, expert since 1989. It's been more than 30 years that I have experience in construction. I have a very elaborate network of contacts. I offer you my help, my services to introduce you to companies, to introduce you to all kinds of people who are in the field of construction, to communicate with them, to see what are the possibilities and where you can find a job or offer your services. So do not hesitate to contact me. I just wanted to make a small introduction here, give a little explanation quickly on what to do as a skilled worker to come to Quebec, and 2 basic steps, which are to contact an immigration officer for knowing how to come, whether with a tourist visa or following an invitation. Do not hope, I want to mention this in passing, that a Quebec company will send you a letter of invitation to work here. It's almost impossible. It's very rare. Perhaps the very large organization can afford to do so, but for the majority of them in the field of construction, it is practically unthinkable. I personally, in my 30-year career, I've never seen a construction company hire people from Africa or Asia to come and work here, considering that they are not even members of the CCQ. So, there are still some initiatives to take. You must demonstrate that you have made these steps. Companies will surely consider you if you are on site and if you are a member of the CCQ. So these 2 things are important and expect that in your budget. I suggest that myself as a consultant because I provide consulting services. Check out businesstripcanada.com. You will see there a schedule where you can book time with me to discuss these matters and also to help you in your undertaking. I can help you prepare your trip, find an apartment, a room, a hotel, or temporarily a hostel where you can stay for a few days during your first visit. I can accompany you to different organizations where I can introduce you to people or companies, skilled workers, discuss matters with you, take you to building sites. So I am constantly myself as an engineer and general contractor in my daily activities in contact with a lot of people. You can accompany me in my project of every day. I welcome you to contact me to talk about it. I am not an immigration officer. I am an engineer and general contractor. I have welcomed in my company several hundreds of people from many countries, especially professionals, technicians and engineers, architects, or people specialized in the field of construction, all of them in the field of construction. Therefore, I invite you to contact me to guide you in your initiative to come to Quebec and achieve success in your professional project and your life projects. So once again, I repeat, I am Daniel Dargis, engineer at Construction Daniel Dargis. Look at the website businesstripcanada.com. It will be a pleasure to talk to you and discuss all of this with you. Thank you, and see you next time.